We never sit at our dining room table. We have this proper dining room for the first time in our lives. That is one of the main reasons that we wanted to buy a house, was to have a proper dining room, especially after living in a 1-bedroom condo downtown for so long. We just didn't have a dining room. And now we have a dining room and we pretty much never use it. I mean, occasionally we use it when company comes over, and it's definitely nice to have for those rare occasions once every couple weeks when there's a family dinner or something. But otherwise, I like to eat breakfast, dinner, lunch, sitting in front of the fireplace in the winter time, or curled up on my couch. Or we'll eat in the den, which is in this other little room here. We'll have dinner in there and watch a movie or something, or we have a little breakfast nook in the kitchen. We don't use it. It's 8 a.m. on the last day of January, and I'm doing some goal setting this morning. Most people do this before the new year or at the very beginning of the new year. And that was definitely my intention. Normally in January, I find myself with all this time to do that kind of thing, get my head around my goals, my intentions for the year. And this year was busy. It was really busy. As of January 2nd, my phone started ringing. I started doing showings. There was multiple offers on some of the properties my clients and I were looking at. So January kind of got away from me a little bit, and I'm finding that I'm only just kind of maybe having a minute to sit down now to really set my intention for the year. I am a firm believer in setting goals. This is something that I started doing from a really young age. I would say I started writing down my goals when I was 15, from small financial goals to travel goals to how old I wanted to be when I bought my first property. And I actually wish I kept some of those old lists, because I remember being like 24 and finding one of these old lists I had, and it was like, wanted to buy a house by the time I was 23, or my first property by the time I was 23, and travel to all these places. And I swear I did like almost everything on that list. It was unbelievable. So I think there's power in pen to paper as opposed to typing out lists, and really being clear about what your intentions are. Because if you write it down and it's important to you and it's top of mind and you put it somewhere that's visible, I really think that you have a lot of power to make things happen for yourself. I had some pretty lofty goals last year. I think they were pretty lofty because I had a baby just prior to the beginning of last year, and not saying you can't achieve great things when you first have a baby, but when you first have a baby, that's a pretty big change in your life. Having a baby is a wonderful thing, but it's also a huge adjustment, and it takes you a while to kind of find your groove again once you have a baby, for me anyways. And I had these lofty goals. I had written them down. I'd actually shared them with a number of colleagues and with Richard. And at the end of the year, when I reflected and broke it all down, I almost hit that goal. Like close enough that I actually feel like I achieved that goal. And then I just found out yesterday that I won a gold award for 2023. And a gold award puts you in the top 10% of realtors here in the Victoria area. I screamed a little bit and jumped up and down a little bit and perhaps called my mom. It just felt like a really big achievement for me. I think especially as a newer mom, to just still feel like, no, I can still be a professional, successful businesswoman and still be a great mom. I think it was kind of validating for that. So this gold award puts me, in the top 10% of realtors in Victoria. There's over 1,600 agents in Victoria, to put that in perspective. So that's really amazing. It makes me feel like all of my hard work is paying off. And so I want to say a huge thank you to you, my subscribers, my biggest supporters, because a big percentage of my business every year comes from my YouTube channel. And I feel so grateful and fortunate that I have the ability to help all of these people who are looking to potentially relocate to Victoria. It's such an honor to help somebody make that transition to a new city, and very humbling to feel like people connect with your content enough that they want to work with you and like you enough through that. And so thank you for all of your support. I would be super excited to help any of you here in 2024 or the years beyond, you can reach out to me and get a hold of me via my contact information listed below. 2024 feels like it's going to be a really exciting year. There's so many big milestones. It's Richard and my 20th anniversary this month. It's my 40th in March, so if you guys have any ideas of what I should maybe do for my 40th birthday, please go ahead and drop them in my comments below.